Page 34, Theme and Variations K.265. The K.265, that's sort of like an opus number. It's another style of numbering pieces. This is by Mozart. It's a nice little arrangement. We've had theme and variations before, but in the past all we had was the theme. They didn't give any variations. Here they give one variation. There could have been more. I'm sure there are in the real thing, but this is nice. It gives us an idea. The theme is the main melody. First they play the melody, and then they do variations on that melody. Sounds like you're improvising on it, sort of. So let's go through this and see what we get. I look it over, I see it's 2 pages long. It's actually longer than that because of the repeat signs, but there's only 2 pages of music to learn. The clef signs are treble and bass clef, at least to start. There are no sharps or flats in the key signatures, so we're either in the key of C major or A minor. If you look at the end of the theme, okay, the end of the theme is at the bottom of page 34. You see, figure we're in C major here. Do the scales for both C major and A minor, and also do the arpeggios for these too. And then 2/4 time. They keep changing the time signature. Well, it doesn't matter. There's 2 beats in the count, and the quarter note gets a count. That's fine. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we know what each hand is doing. The theme is pretty straightforward. It's mostly just quarter notes. It's here, and the reach out, you're sort of in this position. Just quarter note. 3. We took advantage of the repeated notes at the end of the line to change hand positions. That's all, because we're in here and we want it to be here. 1 E and a 2 E and a. Just real short. Just keep it real short. And then going on, you're down. 3rd line, you're. Now this little bit, leave that out right now. Just play the notes. We'll put that in later. And at the end of the page, the last couple pages, those little 16th note things, we'll put those in later. In the variation, we have 1 and 2 and same notes, different rhythm. 1 and 2 and. That's all it is. 1 and 2. Oh, they're getting fancy here. Let's take a look at this on page 35, 3rd line. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1. I just go 1 and 2 and I know there's 2 16th notes. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2. That's all it is. That's the rhythm. The last line, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E. Left hand. At the beginning, it's quarter notes. Crossover. I want to connect these. So I'm going to use fingering. Just crawling around a little bit. Then going on, you have to lift up and move. It's up here. Here I'm just twisting the arm. I'm just transferring away from note to note. 3rd line, 3rd measure. Here. Here. Again, I'm putting weight on those notes. Hold the G down because it's a half note, and then lift up. On page 35, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and. That's pretty much the rhythm until we get down to the 4th line. 1 and 2 and 1 E and a 1 E and a 2. Then you get treble clef, 1, 2, and 1 and 2, and then bass clef. You had tried that before. So we put it together. What could possibly go wrong? Here, that's right, it's here. Quarter notes. Starting out pretty simple, not going to stay that way. Again, I'm trying to connect everything. And then on the page 35, 1 and 2. So I lift up here on 2. 1 and 2. And 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. That's what that rhythm is. And then on the third line down, starting with the third measure here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 1, 1 the end of 1, 1 and 2. Fourth line down, second measure, 1 knee and a 2 and a 1 knee and a 2 1 knee and a 1 knee and a 2 and a 1 and 2. I'm just carefully count it out. I'm going a little fast. You can take it at your speed. I get the rhythm ironed out. Hopefully you'd be able to look at this and kind of figure it out on your own. Don't go, play it for me, let me hear it first. Ugh, I hate that. Learn to read the music and discover it on your own. If you're the kind of person, a student who says, play it for me, let me hear it first, this channel probably isn't for you. I get requests from people, why don't you just play it up front first? And let us hear, because that's where you're saying, play it for me, let me hear it. No. I want you to go through the lesson and really understand what's going on and build it, and then you have it. And that's the approach I use. Anyway, and once I have the notes and the rhythms, I go back and get rid of the hesitations. And then I can add the articulation and these little 16th notes over here on page 34. At the beginning, this is all connected. So forth. And the second line, second measure on the half note. Whether you repeat or not, lift up before you do, like taking a breath. So lift up. In the third line, third measure here. These little 16th notes, they're just done really quick between the two notes. It's got to sound like it go on to here. Ba-da-da-dum. Just real quick. And at the bottom of the page, same thing. Now, I suggest the fingering for these is go ahead and you're in this position on the third line down. You're playing the first note with third finger, and that's fine. There, just do that. Use the same finger at the bottom. Use third finger here. Because you're out of position here. So what we want to do at the bottom to get us into position to do that, then in the third to the last measure, instead of third, I want to use fourth finger on that last note. This way I'm ready for 3. So the last line here, 4. There, now I'm ready. There. They want you to go here, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just find it easier to figure these the same way each time if I can. Now on page 35, we have a combination of staccatos and tenutos. Tenutos linger on hold them out. The 8th notes don't have anything, just play them as 8th notes. It's a, it's tricky because now you're doing different things in the hands. Go slow. 1, and as I play it, I come up. eighth notes, just play them. Yeah, that's basically the articulation. The third line, third major here. No staccatos here, you're holding them out until the rest. Last line on these eighth notes, with the tenuto, hold those out a full eighth note, maybe just a hair longer. Yeah, something like that. It's a little tricky on the articulation and rhythm and everything else. Speed, well, this is, you have to be careful because in a theme and variations, they can all be different speeds. The theme could be one speed and variations could be different speeds. You have to kind of take it. In this piece, it's all the same speed. They didn't change it. At the beginning it's moderato. If they wanted a different speed, and then at the top of page 35, they would give you a different speed indication. They didn't do that, so it's all the same speed. Just somewhere in the middle. Find the hardest part, like these, or these. Whatever the hardest part is for you at the top of the page on 35. How fast can you play that stuff accurately? And that would be fine, or slower. It's up to you. Somewhere in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, the problem is, at the beginning with the quarter notes, you're going to want to play those a little faster. You get it going 1, 2, 1, 2, and then you get over here in the variation, and it doesn't work. 1, 2, I've slowed it way down. No, the whole thing is going to have to be at one speed here. So find a speed that works all the way through. Use a metronome if you need to, and get it all at one speed. Now they've added pedal. You don't need pedal on this. You do it just fine without. But they've added it. At the beginning, it is in parentheses. That means it's optional, so you don't really have to do it. In my opinion, you are really better off without pedal in this. Just leave it off. If you're going to do it, you can pedal it like they're showing, and you would only do it for page 30 or 50, 34. Where am I? 34. Don't pedal page 35. We need the staccatos. However, I still encourage you not to use pedal on this. Just do it all with the hands. It's fine. Now you notice the repeat signs in the page 34, second line. You have a repeat sign and a reverse repeat sign backed up. This is how they share the same bar. The thick bar is the same. That's how they do it. So when you get to the bottom of page 54, you're going to repeat back to the reverse repeat sign. Because the first repeat sign they give you in the second line, that sends you to the beginning. And you get the same thing on this page 35. In other words, the whole thing, you're going to play it twice, basically. It's twice as long as it looks. Dynamics, you're starting out moderately loud, and that's the melody, which is the right hand. Mezzo forte, whatever you think moderately loud is. These need to be soft. Second line, third major, now you're soft for this. It's a different section. Third line, you're going to crescendo. They don't tell you how loud to get on the crescendo. You can come up to about a moderately loud and then back down. So soft, a little louder. I'm doing it like a measure at a time. A little louder. Now, then come down. Back down to sort of soft. And now moderately loud. Like you were at the beginning. On page 54, so basically the same thing. You're soft. And here it's both hands, pretty much. Second line, after the repeat signs, you go up a little bit, sort of soft. Both hands. You crescendo up to moderately loud. You can read the dynamics. You do put them in as you feel them. this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs, but I will do the repeats and the staccatos and all that stuff. So I'll give us 2 counts. I'll just go really, really, really super slow because of the 16th notes on page 35. So page 34 is going to seem really slow. Ready and go, and 1 and 2.